What up, though, y'all? It's Chris broadcasting to you from the D. Back onto the T app. It's back into the algorithm. Actually, it never really left. It's been updates with it. And I was meaning to talk about it yesterday, but didn't get around to it. So we're going to talk about it today. You guys know that it got hacked. A bunch of information got leaked in terms of the selfies and what is it driver's license information from many of the women who signed up. A lot of them look exactly how you would think that they would look. These are the outliers, the women that they're not being, let's just say they probably not getting no action. I'll just put it nicely. These are women that I think are jealous of the women that are getting action, and they intentionally make up stories in many cases about the men that the women are uploading and asking for tea on, because how do you get to date this guy and I don't? Also, this tea app, it's kind of exposed the quality of women in a way that they weren't expecting, because some of the guys have over 100 red flags. Actually, many of the guys have over 100 red flags. So you have these guys that have gotten around to this many different women that all happen to download the app, and they're giving comments talking about he's a red flag, he live in his mama basement, oh, he's an abuser, oh, he's toxic, he's got a bad temper, just all this. And it's like, dang, y'all really all dating the same pookies. Like, that's really wild to me. That's pretty much what's been revealed here. I mean, we kind of knew this already, but just to see it confirmed in the most unlikely way. You are all dating the same pookies. Talking about the dude is toxic, the dude's a deadbeat dad, all this sort of stuff. And not only was he able to bag a bunch of other chicks previously, apparently he's still open for business. He's still out here getting whoever. And I mean, ultimately, the posting a guy's picture on the T app, that seems to be having the opposite effect than what they claim the app was designed for. Instead of the guy being like ostracized, basically, that seems to intrigue them more. The fact that the guy lives in the basement, got multiple kids by multiple different women, is toxic, and whatever else negative things, that seems to make the women more intrigued. So there's that. But the T app itself, they have made some sort of response to the data breach, and it's not what you would think. It seems like to me that they are trying to convince women to sign up to be doxxed. Still, it didn't really seem like they were all that concerned about the safety or whatever of the women. But I'll read to you what they had to say. It goes, we have an update regarding the cyber incident that took place last week and wanted to share it with you as soon as possible. And they've got a purple heart there. We have recently learned that some direct messages, oh yeah, that's right, direct messages were also leaked. So you had pictures of them, you had driver's license, you had direct messages. Seeing some of those direct messages made me laugh, because that's where I was getting the whole thing from, of the women seem even more intrigued by the guy. The more bad stuff that's said about him, the more they seem to want to be his next baby mama. I don't know, man. It's crazy. But anyway, it says, yes, we have recently learned that some direct messages were assessed as part of the initial incident. Out of an abundance of caution, we have taken the affected system offline. At this time, we have found no evidence of access to other parts of our environment. I don't believe that. I just think that since no other parts of their environment have been published, things from the other parts of their quote unquote environment haven't been published, they're going to say it's not been accessed. But they wouldn't tell either way. It says, please note that the direct messages The direct message feature within T is temporarily unavailable. Man, the fact that people was downloading this app. I mean, over 73,000 women had their pictures and driver's license like basically displayed on Reddit somewhere. It says, we're committed to keeping you informed as quickly as possible. Yeah, your usual PR speak. That said, because this is an active investigation involving external cybersecurity experts and the FBI, there are limits to what we can share and when. Please know that our team remains fully engaged in strengthening the T-App security. Why was the T-App security so weak to begin with? Look how easy it was for them to crack into this. That tells me that this really wasn't that secure in the first place. It was like, I don't know, from when it went viral, I don't know, it was like a day or two, something like that. It seemed like 1 minute we was hearing about women basically bashing men on this app, and there's nothing the guys can do about it. You could get on there and say whatever it is that you want to say about them, and they can't defend themselves because you have to be a woman in order to get in. To dang, they done all been put on blast. I honestly, the selfies that the women were having to take in order to authenticate that they were a woman, that was amazing, man. Seriously, like, I'm not saying I'm okay with the doxing of their addresses, but in this case, I don't like doxing. I think that's a terrible thing. But in this case, I don't mind it as much. I still don't like it, but I'm not as opposed to it as I normally am when it comes to doxing. And showing their pictures, that was absolutely amazing. I mean, seeing the quality of women that are calling these guys toxic and incels and misogynists and all that, seeing them, they very much so, you're like, you women ain't getting no action. So many of y'all that's getting on here making up stories, many of you getting on here grabbing pictures of IG guys that you've probably never met in your life, never would meet, you would never be in his orbit, and trying to tell some made up story, spin some tale about how this guy stalked you or whatever. Oh man, it says, additionally, we are working to identify any users whose personal information was involved and will be offering free identity protection services to those individuals. I'll believe that when I see it. And here's the most BS statement of all. This is page 3 of their little whatever this was supposed to be. T was born from the mission of empower, support, and amplify the voices of women navigating the modern dating world. That was not. This app is messy. They can try to put whatever silly spin on it that they want. That it was to protect women. It was supposed to be used as a tool to help women and make dating safe for them. Put whatever BS spin that you want on it. You created a forum where people can just go on and defame people, whether they know them or not. They can just go on there and defame them anonymously, and that there's no sort of verification of whether the people actually know who they're talking about, and they don't have to provide any sort of proof to the stories that they're telling. They'll say this and that, but they don't provide any receipts of nothing. So saying that this was for empowerment and all that, it must have been some feminists that made this app. It had to be, because I only ever hear those type of words thrown out when you're dealing with liberal women, usually liberal white women. They love words like empowerment and patriarchy, and misogyny. These are like their favorite words. They're the words that like really make them cream. So it says, while we acknowledge this serious cyber incident, we also acknowledge that T is needed now more than ever. So what is that? Somebody running a leaf blower? They running a leaf blower at this hour? That's just kind of random. At first I thought it was like a slingshot or something, but the noise wasn't going away in the distance. So that's pretty much all of it for there, man. That's what's happening with T. That's the update. People stuff got doxxed. It's been a pretty, I'm not gonna say funny, but it's been entertaining to say the least. What do I feel about this? As I said, I don't like doxing. I think doxing is terrible. You shouldn't dox people. But considering the people that are on the receiving end of the doxing, I don't mind it so much. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there, you guys. Hit me with a like if you like what I do. Hit me with a sub if you like what I do. And hit me in them comments. I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.